Well, when it comes to aged care is a federal government...
when it comes to JobKeeper, we're going to get to aged care in a moment, but when it comes to assisting the state in general.
Look, I think it's a very difficult one because I think the federal government wants to be clear about how much of this is the responsibility of Victoria and how much of this is the nature of the virus and the game it's playing with our heads and our systems. I mean, I read the Royal Commission's report last year into that first terrible lockdown, and it was a horrifying analysis of poor governance, poor accountability, lack of transparency. I remember at the time Dan Andrews was absolutely adamant that he would reform all their systems, require minutes at meetings of executives, require ministers to meet with their department heads. I mean, things that you would think actually might just happen, but obviously needed to be drawn to his attention that, I mean, these were weaknesses in their system. So really, to me, the federal government's got two problems. First of all, they are all Australian citizens, and there are going to be terrible economic crashes and uncertainties for Victorians for many months to come, because after the fourth time, there'd be a lot of people from other states in Australia who will be very gun-shy about booking anything in Victoria. And of course, likewise for Victorians organising events. So I certainly think the ongoing impact is going to be quite profound this time. And the federal government clearly needs to address that because Victoria is such an important part of the economic engine room of Australia. But it's also got to be clear about accountability and whether or not the Victorian government did meet some of those requirements, those many recommendations made by the judge last year. And if the Victorian government did not take into hand its clearly poor governance, which Dan Andrews agreed was poor governance, then I don't blame the feds for being a bit annoyed that we're now back there again, and the Victorians in the meantime might not have done what they said that they would do. So I've got more questions than answers on this, Julia, but I do think it's a bit early to just blame the feds for not giving them the money. They have to do something because, as I say, it's such an important engine room, but they also need to understand where does the responsibility of the Victorian government that undertook very big reforms last year as a result of the last lockdown to actually make it clear that they have met their undertakings. I mean, I couldn't get over the difficulties they were having with contact tracers. I mean, in New South Wales, there's sort of this army on standby that just steps in the moment you need a large number of contact tracers. And I would have thought that would be true in Victoria too, but it didn't appear to have been.